With all the wonderful and unique traits that the INFJ personality type is gifted with, some people find it hard to believe that they have that tendency to feel unconfident and sometimes even unhappy with who they are. Luckily, with a few changes to mindset and daily practice, the INFJ can overcome these struggles and ultimately feel like the true hero they are to other people. Welcome back, Psychos. Today we're going to be discussing the 10 ways to feel more confident as an INFJ. But before we start, have you liked and subscribed to the channel? Go ahead, and be sure to click the notification bell while you're there so that you never miss a video. Alright, let's get into it, starting with number 1. Educate yourself about your personality type. Well, the good news is that you've been typed as an INFJ and you're watching this video, you're already one step closer to a more confident you. Because of the complex and unique ways of the inner workings of an INFJ mind, one of the best things they can do for themselves is to take time to really research their personality type. In doing so, this introverted personality type is likely to discover that 1. They aren't as alone in the world as they may think, and 2. Their unique traits are what make them so powerful and incomparable to other people they are so often comparing themselves to. Not many people can feel as deeply, think as intuitively, and strive for greatness as much as the INFJ, and that's something to really celebrate. Number 2. Accepting your uniqueness as a power, not a curse. By first learning about the unique ways of their personality, the INFJ must learn to accept their differences by seeing them as their superhuman abilities rather than a dreaded curse. It's not to say that this process happens overnight. In fact, this can be one of the INFJ's greatest challenges while growing up. With their highly sensitive, empathetic, and deeply intuitive energy, they can easily become overwhelmed by outer stimuli, high-energy people, and a social expectation. As humans, we tend to compare ourselves to others to better understand where we stand and why we do the things we do. However, for an INFJ, comparing themselves to others can just cause further confusion. Simple understandings like knowing what staying in on the weekend doesn't make them boring and feeling deeply doesn't make them weak. Slowly but surely, by accepting their uniqueness, they will understand and value the things that make them them. Number 3. Don't be afraid to make genuine connections. One of the many contradicting traits of the INFJ personality type is their longing for deep, genuine connections with others, paired with a reluctance to put themselves out there and let people in. In knowing this contradicting trait about themselves, it's important for INFJs to understand that they long for genuine connections for a reason, and once they find 1 or 2 people whom they can relate to, they will clearly see what they were missing out on. Because INFJs are so used to feeling misunderstood, finding people with similar traits and ideas can be a total game changer. Just for fun, if you're an INFJ and you feel like you have no one to relate to, comment the words INFJ connection down below to start a discussion with your fellow INFJs of the world. Number 4. Follow your intuition. INFJs have a very strong intuition, and it can take some time and practice to understand how they can use it to their advantage. This sixth sense allows this personality type to easily pick up on things that others completely overlook, because it's not in the details that they find their answers, but through their gut feelings. Ironically, as an INFJ builds their trust in the intuitive abilities, they will gain superb confidence in their decision-making skills. However, on the flip side, it takes significant self-confidence to be able to fully trust these feelings. So, by slowly choosing their gut feelings over what seems like the most logical decisions through simple circumstance, an INFJ can easily build their self-confidence, leading them in the exact direction they need to be. Number 5. Celebrate your wins and successes. People with the INFJ personality type don't usually have difficulty with putting in the work towards their goals or their dreams. However, they face difficulty when it comes to looking back and feeling proud about their small achievements. Usually, they are so busy focusing on the bigger picture and the things that are still needing to be done to get where they need to be that they forget to stop and celebrate how far they've come. By taking a moment to really reflect on the small wins and successes, it not only allows the INFJ to feel instantly more confident in the direction they're going, but also takes a little less of that perfectionist pressure off themselves, allowing for a little self-boasting and self-encouragement, even if it's in their own heads. Number 6. Practice gratitude and optimism. Now, it's fair to say that just about any person can truly benefit from practicing gratitude and sharpening their optimism skills. But for an INFJ who is so often stuck in their own heads, overthinking and fantasizing about how their life could be, taking a moment to feel grateful for what they have can really benefit their overall mental health and their confidence. By simply switching the narrative from "how can I make XYZ better" to "what would I possibly do without XYZ?", all of a sudden life gets a little more beautiful. This very act of switching thought patterns is actually a little more difficult than it sounds. But by noticing the most common thoughts you have throughout the day, it's easier to take control of them, slowly resulting in a noticeably happier and more confident mindset. Number 7. Find a hobby that feeds your soul. INFJs are known to have a passionate, creative aspect to their personalities, and when they take the time to express themselves through a creative outlet, they can find a sense of peace and calmness that they aren't likely to find anywhere else. As we mentioned before, the INFJ constant cycle of deep thinking can easily send them down a rabbit hole of self-doubt and belief that they're not doing enough. So anything to veer them away from this irrational thinking pattern is extremely beneficial to the overall confidence towards life, and a creative hobby is the perfect way to accomplish this. INFJs are known to be brilliant writers, readers, art appreciators, music listeners, and nature lovers. But really, any soul-feeding passion will do the trick. Number 8. Don't feel bad for needing alone time. So many INFJs that aren't confident in who they are tend to struggle with this aspect of their personality the most. Because of their introverted, highly empathetic and highly sensitive nature, they require a great deal of rest and recharge time, which they mostly prefer to do alone. The unfortunate thing is that other people are so quick to label such introverted types as antisocial, quiet, and even seemingly closed off or unfriendly, which can lead to these types to think that they aren't living up to the social standards of what it means to be a proper human. Well, the reality of the matter is that we live in an overly extroverted world who collectively fails to realize that without the introvert's need for a considerable amount of alone time, some of the greatest innovations and world-changing ideas would never have come to fruition. So, to put it simply, the INFJ's need for individuality and independence is actually one of their greatest strengths and should certainly be celebrated as such. Number 9. Understand that you can't please everyone. Have you ever noticed that some of the most confident people live life on their own terms? That's because they understand the simple fact that you will never succeed at pleasing everyone, so you should only focus on pleasing yourself. All INFJs have an underlying need to please others, and can easily put their own wants and needs on the sideline in order to do so. Unfortunately, this can only lead to feelings of life dissatisfaction, but it can significantly decrease an INFJ's self-confidence when faced with disapproval and criticism. By focusing on themselves and the direction their intuition is trying to take them, they'll begin to feel about their unique skills they offer this world and build the confidence around using them to their best advantage. And number 10, stop feeling like you need to explain your quirks. Related to the INFJ's need to please others, they also tend to feel the need to constantly explain themselves to others. It's no doubt that most INFJs feel misunderstood by the world around them, but this does not mean that they need to explain why they do the things the way they do. In fact, by explaining themselves, they are essentially apologizing for who they are as a person out of subconscious guilt, which is a sure sign of a lack of confidence. Instead, a confident INFJ will understand that their loved ones will understand and encourage who they are and why they do the things they do, and that's the lead they should focus on following. So Psychos, are you an INFJ, and have you incorporated any of these confidence boosting practices into your life? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to leave us a like, share this video with your friends, and also subscribe to our channel for more Psycho videos.